Please note that for this blog article, there is a link at the end of the first paragraph of the email version that takes you to a silly little 30-second video associated with the subject. Feel free to view the video either before or after listening to the article. Location, location, location. Written and read by Brother Jerry Valenti. If you've ever been involved with the sale of a home, either as a buyer or a seller, you may be familiar with a common phrase used in determining the value of real estate: location, location, location. What this means is that the location of the property is so much more important in setting the value than any other factor that you could list it as the top 3 factors before even considering any other factor. Location, location, location. It's why a house built in a desirable place to live carries a high value, while the same exact house built in the bad part of town is worth considerably less. That's right, the same exact house, with the same limitations, the same effects of aging, the same risks of damage from fire or water, etc., has a much higher or much lower value depending on the location. Clearly, the preference is to build the house in a good location. As Jesus concludes the Sermon on the Mount, he acknowledges the people who've been listening to what he has said, but he then stresses to them that hearing the words is not enough. They have to do what he has taught, as we need to do also. The way he brings out this point is by saying that following his teaching is as valuable as building your house in a desirable location. Whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Matthew 7:24 and 25. Conversely, if after hearing the teaching of Jesus you don't do what he has taught, you're building your house in the worst part of town. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Matthew 7:26 and 27. Of course, Jesus isn't talking about an actual house. The above verses are a metaphor in which the house represents our life. And how can we make this house most valuable? Location, location, location. If we build our life upon the rock, which represents Jesus Christ and his teaching, we are positioned to withstand the storms of life. However, if we build the house of our life upon the sand, which represents the world or anything other than the teaching of Christ, we are setting ourselves up for a great fall. Just as in the original example in this article, the 2 houses that Jesus describes are exactly the same, experiencing the exact same challenges: rain, floods, heavy winds. The only difference is the locations, which lead to 2 very different outcomes, thereby making the first house very valuable and the second house highly undesirable. Likewise, in our lives, each of us is subject to the same basic challenges of life. We all go through illnesses, death of loved ones, family issues, financial challenges, etc. Serving the Lord does not exempt us from any of these. However, if you have to go through problems in your life, wouldn't you rather go through them with Jesus by your side, rather than go through the same problems without him? Even when a situation in life turns out unfavorably, being built upon the rock of Christ helps us to get through it, as the Lord grants us the peace and understanding that we need. And even when we are facing death and ultimately pass from this life, we will have peace in knowing that we are on our way to be with the Lord for eternity. Someone who has built their life upon the sand will have a very different experience. So where should we build the house of our life? Location, location, location. Or to be more exact, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. When you do that, you're living in the most valuable neighborhood of all.